Okay, so here we are on the morning of August the 24th. We're looking at our composite to get us an idea of where this market may be headed, and the upper value area of 2865.50 has already been hit. 2865.50 has been hit, and we're very close to that level right now at 64.75, so it'll probably test it again. But as you can see, we've gone higher, and we don't necessarily expect that the market would take a short at or around this level necessarily. But in looking at our other major trend screens, and these are the screens that we use for anticipating the trend, we'll look at the slowest of them. This is a 75,000 share bar, 15,000 share bar, 25,005. And this, of course, these two are on SPY. SPY here, SPY there. We are very close to being overbought on SPY. We are overbought on the ES. Okay, we're overbought there, and have been. So probably the most compelling argument that we have for how the market will behave this morning is found right here. Move this over a little bit more. Okay. And we'll expand that. So we are right up at 65 right now, and this indicator here, right, shows that we are divergent at this high, and so what this can mean is that this will make another attempt to go higher, right? And when it does finally go at least back to 65.50, if not a little higher, it will then likely begin to turn. But that all depends upon how the price that we're at will somewhat and whether or not we short will somewhat depend upon these other indicators. Here, we should get close to an overbought condition here and here. But if we don't and it starts to turn, it'll be even more obvious that we're having that we're going to have a short. And of course, that will be followed by, or accompanied by a lot of selling going on, and this volume indicator highlights sell orders in yellow and buy orders in green. So we'll be watching that carefully as well. Now let's take a look at the extensions. All right, we've done a Fibonacci ABC extension. Let's see where we're at here. Tell you what, I'm going to redraw this. Okay, so what we've done is we've used this low 28.35, this high at 74, and this low at 46.25. And it's giving us a 61.8 extension at 28.70. So indeed, we should be anticipating heading up in that direction. So 65 will not be the top, at least it's not likely. Okay, that confirms that. Now what you see over here is an alert. We have set up alerts on these four screens, here, 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 and here. And the alerts are on the stochastic. And when the stochastic hits a level of 1 or a level of 0, we're going to get an alert. This is fast K1, this is fast K2, fast K3, and fast K4. So they're on 4 different charts. And these charts are a little faster. These two are faster than this and this. This is a 500 share bar, and so is this. However, the settings of the indicators, except for the stochastic, is a little bit different. So this stochastic is actually the same as it is here. So for that reason, we really don't need to duplicate that. So I'm going to turn that alert off. Okay, it is off. All right, so we're right about at the open here. We're at 64. It's telling us that we're in the sell mode, but we're not going to really take any trade here as of yet, only because we're not. We need to wait a couple of minutes in order to get the premium feed up and running. So we'll pause and come back in a few minutes. All right, so let's just take a look here. We're overbought. This is down, so it looks like we're going to drop a little bit. We're now up at 65.50. We're going higher. Okay, this turned. Now we're showing up over here at 66. So if we want to go long, we're going to just be patient on going long. And I should have made that clear. The trend right now is long. Yes, we are overbought, but the trend is long. I should identify that. And I can say that the trend is long. Obviously, if you just look at this, the trend is long. Now we're pulling back, and so we're going to look at now an opportunity to buy into this rally. and you see some buy signals hitting right here. FK4, this is FK4. It just hit 0. It came down to the point of control. That's a buy signal. Okay, that was a buy signal right there as it came into the point of control on SPY. And this is the premium screen, and you can see that the premium was headed up right at that time that we came down to hit that little low here. Premium was headed up, so could have taken a little bit of a long trade there at 64.75. We're up at 66.25, so that's already 2 points. Now we're over sold again up at the top there on the FK4. And if I click on this, that screen will pop up. Okay. And so you can see we were overbought up here, and that would have really called for a short, because this is so much lower. We're not trending up any longer. That's a short. And so the premium is headed back down. Now we're back into a buy on the FK4 level. However, now we're divergent on the premium, yeah. So that was a short. Now it's back to long. So these aren't lasting very long. So we were long in here. Looking at that bar right there associated with this bar on the premium. Then we come to a lower low on the ES, higher low on the premium. There's your divergence, so we're long again. So we ought to be able to take this right back up to 66.50. But this has now become oversold again. Overbought again, and this is headed up. And this is just beginning to turn a little bit. Now this signal is associated with this chart over here. And this is just telling us that this stochastic is just beginning to turn a little bit. This signal, however, is just the opposite. So we've got some conflicting information, and of course we can resolve that with the premium. But the overall trend at the moment is still up, and I wouldn't think of trying to short this until we hit 66.50 again, which we're just about to do. There we have it. So we're in. All right, now look closely at this indicator here. As we hit higher highs here, this is turning. This is going down. It's showing divergence. And while it ought to turn up a little bit, it ought to turn and then likely turn down. We'll have to just wait on that. But we know that 70, that number on the Fibonacci retrace extensions, was a target. So we're in a long trade, but this is beginning to show that there is a questionable short here. We're not quite there. This is not divergent. These are. And this is a real good, compelling argument for a short if this becomes divergent, which it has not yet done so. In order for that to happen, this is going to have to drop. So will this, and then turn up again. And that's just not happened yet. So we're still in a long trade. We're not really shorting this at this point. There's no compelling reason to do so. Now we want to look at the premium always to make sure that we're not doing the wrong thing. Premium is still going higher. These green dots indicate new highs on the premium, which indicates that this market is still trending up. And any pullback at this point just gives us another opportunity to go long. But the real opportunity for a long trade was right in here. At a low at around 65. Now this yellow dot means the first low on the premium since we started looking at it, which happened at 8:35. So we didn't consider these lows. This is not a new low for the day, of course, but it's a new low since 8:35. and there's divergence right here on the premium. You see this higher low here, so that's associated with that low on the ES. That was an opportunity to get into a long trade. You saw the signal on the FK4 showing showing a buy signal as it hit this level. So there was another opportunity to get in there. But now I want to look at the let's take a look at this screen. All right, now you see the lower value area. We're at the upper value areas here, the magenta and the green line. Okay, we failed to hit a new high here, and the stochastic is turning, so that means that this is going to drop into a new lower low. So at this point, getting out of any long trade, if you were in at 65, is a good idea, because this is going to fail. This is going to come back down. It's going to go lower. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the trend, the way in which this is being plotted. I want a banded approach here. All right, instead of a straight line. Now we've moved up, to this upper value area, and as we know, this green line, this low value area at 62 at the moment, indicates that the market will spend most of its time between these two green lines. It is yet to go down there. It has not even been close pretty much since all of last night. Okay, the last time we were there was way over here. Okay, that was yesterday evening. We have yet to come down here. So for that reason, there's a good reason to expect that this is going to drop, and it needs to test that level. It has not done so for hours. So there is now a compelling reason to short this, because this is coming down. So let's take a look at the premium. There's our compelling reason for a short. Now, if we can get back up to 66.75, all right, at 66.75, that would be a great opportunity to get in. But we went in and took a short in right in here. We took a short because we can see that there's a good reason to expect that this is going to drop as it is. So we shorted that. And now we're hitting new lows on the premium. But as you can see, the premium was turning right in here. Lower highs on the premium. And then this indicator here is a real good one for watching how the premium is behaving. Now this screen shows an oversold condition on the 500 tick. That doesn't necessarily mean we should be buying, because right now the trend is down. The trend is down. So we ignore this as a buy signal when the trend has changed. By the same token, this is really an oversold condition, as this indicator has dropped so low. We can expect that this is going to come back up. So it puts into it. We're so close to the entry here that we're probably not going to make any money on that short, because this got very oversold. And when this particular indicator gets as low as it does, it starts to head back up, and usually, it's going to go higher. So we're not going to make anything on that short, and might as well just bail on it, or at least put in a stop to break even, because it might fool us and come back down. Premium is coming back down. You can see that here and here and here and here. Premium's coming back down. So apparently we're gonna squeak out a profit on this. It's not gonna make it. Good. Thank you. Appreciate that. But now the premium is turning, and that's not good. So I guess we will have to rethink that. Yeah, no, we're not going to make it. Stopped out. Well, like we said, 66.75 would be nice. So we had a limit order in here to get back in, and the premium also turned, so that's okay. We're back in. But we still got some buying on here, selling here. Buying favoring the sellers. All right, let's go over to the screen. Okay, we know that level has to be tested because of this new low on the premium. So we're still short. But that little move up didn't change the trend. It just makes it a little harder for us to make a profit if the market goes too high, because the entry was late. We were getting in short in here. And as you can see, the premium is long right at the moment. The overall trend is short based on that move on the premium. So we just look for an opportunity to get in, and we're not there yet. Yeah, we're not there yet. This went higher, so this is going to continue on high. You look for a divergence in the premium, Okay, that was the previous target at 66.75 based on that new high on the premium. This latest move only went to 66.50, 66.75 is the target. The premium does not lie. All right. So if you were going to look for a short here, you would not take that short at 66.50. You would not do so. You would wait until we hit 66.75 or better. And or better would mean 67, which is the high for the day. Now, all the same, look at the bars on the premium here. This is a new high. The market came down. When I say it's a new high relative to this move up. It's not a new high for the day. This gives us a new high for the day if it's painted green. But on the way up here, that was a higher high than any of these highs in here since the turn. So if you're looking to get into the short, at this point in time, you're better off waiting because the premium is moving up. And what we see happen a lot, although it's not a rule, we came down into this low, as you see on the premium here. Now the premium heads up, starts to come down, okay? This is like the first cycle up, followed by a dip to a second cycle up. And if that cycle is at a higher high on the premium, then we're still going to hold it. If, on the other hand, it's a lower high, and we are at least at 66.75, well, then we would short it. Now the premium came down to this low. We should test that, likely test that price, 65.25. Okay, we just did. We went lower, so this should come down even a little bit more. This is what we might call an opportunity to scalp, because we know that the overall trend is still short, because that price has to get tested. But this price over here also has to be tested, which it is not yet done. So it all depends on what happens first. The premium was up, and now it looks like we're going to come back and we're going to test that 64 level because we're real close to it now. And we are in a short. We took that initial short and we didn't get out of it. And we said that you've got an opportunity for this to move up to 66.75. So I'm going to take profits if we break below, if we break down to 64 or less, I'll go ahead and take profits on the short that we have and get out of that trade, because this is a target that has not yet been reached. So here's our initial dip. This is phase one down. We're getting ready for phase two to go up. But I would like to see us drop to 64. And I will put in a limit order to get out at 64. I just hope we make it. See how the lows of the premium are going higher? That's turning this. We're heading back up. Come on. Nope. Yeah, we're overbought here on SPY. Excuse me. Pardon me. We're oversold on SPY. This is a sell signal. We're oversold on SPY. So this is turning. It's not going to make it down there right now. It's not going to make it. So if I'm feeling like we are going to go back up, then I probably ought to get out of this. If I'm willing to take the risk that it'll still turn, then I can hold it, but there's no point in losing any money on that trade because of where the premium says this market is going back up to. So this is now kind of a judgment call. Do you get out because you don't think it's going to make it down there just yet? And as you can see, we went higher on the premium here and here. Okay, that really shows that this is long at the moment. Because phase 2 on the way up is at a higher high. I'm going to go ahead and bail on this short. I don't have confidence that it's going to make it. And I got out at 65. Managed to get out at 65. And watch it go to 64. It could do that. In fact, I'm going to risk going long here. Oh, whoa, we're up to 66.70. Wow, I'm happy. I'm happy. We're up at 67. Oh, man, I got in long just at the right time. Whew. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Now, we still got an unsatisfied low on the premium. So now the question is, how high is this going to go? Because it surely has turned and it's continuing to go up. We're at 68, 68.50, 68.75. Whoa. Remember where we said this was headed? To 70.35. Well, 70.25. So we got in long right at the perfect time for a long trade. Now, where else might you get in long? All right. So now we have to look for an opportunity to go long if we're not already in this, because the trend has moved back up. We're definitely now shooting for that 70-35 number. So we look for a buy opportunity. This has now hit 0. Now we watch very carefully for verification on the premium to get into this long. And so for that reason, it's good to go back to the premium. Our upper value area is at 66.25. Now, what we normally want to see happen here is we get into a lower low on the ES, a higher low on the premium. So the low of this move down came to 66.50, but it was at a lower low on the premium. So we're not ready to go long yet. Now we're at an equal low and a slightly higher low, and while that amounts to a divergence, it's not quite ready yet. I'd be more comfortable seeing us drop another tick to at least 66.25. I would be more comfortable with that. But we don't always get it. And we do have some divergence on the premium at this point. And you can see that divergence develop through this indicator. So it may have decided that it doesn't want to cooperate with that, and it's going right back up now. So sometimes you have to just jump in, because that was technically a divergence, but I would have liked to see it drop a little bit lower. It didn't, so I jumped into the long trade late, and I'll average in. If it manages to come back down, I'll just take another position, but I don't want to lose the opportunity to get in. Now, one other thing, this little move down, all right, here on the premium, what we would ideally want to see occur is that we hit not the first low here, but a second low and a higher, and we just did it, 66.25. This is going to continue down lower. It's going to hit 65.50. If we can get a higher low, as indicated by the premium feed here, or the indicator, this is a jerk moving average. We've got a buy signal on SPY here. We dip down to that low, and this is a slightly higher low and a lower low on the ES. That was a good signal for an entry right there. And fortunately, we did have some contracts sitting down there ready to go long on a limit order, and we got filled. I'll show you that in a minute. 65.75. Now, we're a little overextended in our account at the moment, taking long trades, so I'm going to take some money off of the table if we get up to 68 here. So let's go back to this chart. We got in at this low, and we're going to get out of that position here in just a moment. So those are our orders in there. It's coming back down, however. I'll use this chart. It's a little easier to follow. So this, we may test this. We may test this low. And as you can see, we're at a higher low now than we were here. And that would even make it better for the long trade. Keeping in mind, there's still this unsatisfied low on the premium that needs to be tested. But what often happens is that we get into an uptrend, which we are in now. This is all changed for the moment because of this move here. We're in an uptrend, and we won't come back down until we hit the high for the morning, more than likely. So we ignore the fact that this needs to be tested. We're not going to wait for that, for the market to come down. It tried it over here and it failed, and then headed back up. So while we have to be cautious about our long trade in here because of that, experience indicates that we should go and test that Fibonacci level before this actually turns into a short. Okay, we're going to pause on this, come back in a little bit. All right, just another commentary about the premium here. Let me explain what we have here on this chart. This indicator here, which is a momentum indicator, is measuring the movement of the Spoos. So this is set to data stream 1. Everything else here, 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 and here is set to data stream 2, which is the premium. This indicator here is on data stream 1, but this is on data stream 2. This is on the premium. Okay. So we have these here just to give us a general picture of what's happening on the ES, but what we're really following is what's happening on the premium. So we have this low at 65.75. We're at 66 here. It looks like we're going to test 65.50. Now, watch what happens to the premium. See where we're at now? Here was this low. 39.48 right at the turn, 39.32. 39.48 right at, whoops, let's get it right here. 39.48 was the turn of the premium, but the low was at 44.18 at the close. Here we're at the same price, and the premium is higher at 46.74. We've gone a little bit lower to this low value area. We're still divergent. We're going to test that a little bit more. Oh boy, uh-oh. Looks like we're heading back down to where that 64 area. And if we get that, that'll be a good place to go long. this move down is not over. That doesn't look good. Oh, wait a minute. Pardon me. That might have been over. Yeah. Low at 6, low at 5. There's a divergence there between these two lows. So that could have been over. You want to get in long on this. That's not a bad place to go long. Not a bad place at all. But we're long here. We did not average in here. We should have. Too busy explaining what's going on. Once again, we're overbought here, but I'm not worried. But maybe I should be. Yeah, maybe I should be. Okay, here's a. Now we're headed back. We're headed back up. But let me explain something which you probably already know. As the market moved up and started to come back down, we got a overbought condition at a lower high. That's a very typical indication of a short. Now the fact that we came down to this low and we now move back up to an overbought condition again may not in and of itself tell us whether we are continuing to move down or not. Because if this turns, and it looks like it will, if this turns and we fail to hit a new low or a lower low, and we get over, if we get oversold at a higher low, all right, then that of course will indicate we're back into a long trade. Right now you can't tell. We're long nevertheless because of the overall picture, but we're not long at a very good price, unfortunately. And this is looking very overextended, and I don't think we're going to manage to get back to 68, which is where we would like it to be.